Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now October 8th of 2025, and ever since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we have seen a very big spike in the number of celebrities, those in the media, personalities, even terrible people on social media, saying awful things about Charlie Kirk, his friends and family, his loved ones, even his wife Erica Kirk, and it's only getting worse from that point forward. Now we know that where we are right now in October of 2025, the list is actually quite large, and we have, of course, Jane Fonda. We talked about her just recently, about how HBO gave her the boot from a miniseries about meditation and yoga, over, of course, her Trump comments, over her Charlie Kirk related comments, and it only is getting worse from this point moving on. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Jane Fonda is that she has been a very vile human being for decades and decades. We're talking about ever since like the 1970s at minimum. And we know that there's a lot of things going on right now with Jane Fonda. Now, obviously, ever since Trump was put into office back in 2016, everything really shifted within Hollywood. Everything really truly did change in the film industry, where you had a lot of these actors and actresses, just celebrities in general, getting far worse than they previously were. Now, what's interesting about all of this, though, has a lot more to do with Jane Fonda and how she's taking the firing from HBO and how she's actually acting out and getting very bitter about all of this. Now, one thing about Jane Fonda, I will put it out there very clear, is that she's been trying to make a comeback with acting, and she's been trying to actually get back into fitness a little bit, this time with yoga and meditation, nothing too crazy, but she didn't really get to do that by HBO, after HBO wanted nothing to do with all of the Charlie Kirk related comments and the fallout from that. Now, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk still creating a spike in the number of celebrities coming forward to say some of the worst things yet about him and about his supporters by politicizing what happened, one major development going on now involves more to do with Jane Fonda and her behavior after she was fired by HBO from a miniseries for saying such inflammatory things about Charlie and Trump, and it only gets worse. Now, Jane recently delivered the following in a desperate move to convince her fans to come back. I think what's happening to me, along with many others in this industry, is that we are being silenced by this president who acts like a fascist. And I said what I had to say about what happened on September 10th and why the Trump administration is taking advantage of that, when seemingly there are so many studios and organizations in our country right now that are so afraid of Trump that they have to cancel, fire, or suspend those representing them when they have to say what they have to say. And I can confidently say right now that I am going through this as I speak, and it's infuriating. I think I got it worse than Jimmy did, because I was working on something and now I'm not, and I stand by what I said because it's the truth. If you don't believe that Trump's administration is utilizing the death of Charlie Kirk to strengthen their political agenda in this country right now, then you have rocks in your head, and I don't know what else to tell you. And sure, I'm scared. Sure, I wake up crying all the time about how un-American we are right now as a society. My freedom of speech is gone. I know Jimmy was tested, and this is just how Trump likes to act. Now, guys, by the way, she's talking about Jimmy Kimmel, obviously, in case you guys are a little lost there, about his suspension from ABC/Disney that lasted a whopping 4 days. Nothing really crazy there, right? Moving on, she continues, he acts like a child, a literal spoiled brat, and people are eating up his lies and half-truths. We are dealing with a dictatorship. We are not living in a free country right now. That's for sure. If you want to be an actor, I will advise against it under this man's presidency at the least. This is the same man that took over Charlie Kirk's memorial and turned it into a MAGA Republican Trump rally, as if he were running for a presidential election. It was pathetic, and thankfully we have a shot at winning back our country next year during the midterms. I just hope everyone wakes the hell up already, because this is uncalled for. We are dealing with a president who is going to have a UFC match on the White House lawn. How stupid can you be to entertain that idea? Have people lost their mind? If there is one thing that came out of what happened to Charlie Kirk, is that Trump feels this now allows him to strip people away from their jobs for speaking their mind. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about this. Now, Jane Fonda is obviously crazy, like literally crazy. She has been pretty much for well over 40 years. We know one thing about this, though, is that when Trump came back, it really is causing quite the meltdown coming from Jane Fonda. The reason why so many studios in Hollywood really don't want to deal with the fallout from actors and actresses representing them and saying such stupid things is that, surprise, surprise, customers walk away and they don't want to actually lend their hard-earned money to whether it's a streaming platform or if it's an actual movie in the theaters, doesn't matter, same thing pretty much. And that's just how it works. And they're beginning to catch on. Not all studios are catching on. There are some stubborn ones out there like Disney who flat out does not care about any fallout. They don't care about how many, people they lose or customers they lose because they have the top three investors, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And again, the whole Jane Fonda thing, it really just makes you wonder to yourself, why are other studios willing to work with her? And HBO actually had a good head on their shoulders by giving her the boot. I think that more will follow, there's no doubt about that. And she did indirectly confirm what happened with HBO right there. Now, one thing about this is that we know that Jane Fonda is obviously having a very tough time accepting the fact that there are so many people lending out their support to Charlie Kirk, to his loved ones, to his wife, Erica Kirk. And mind you, this is the same Jane Fonda that actually called Trump and Erica Kirk hugging quite phony on stage and really just making a mockery of his memorial. So she goes on to conclude, so many other actors have gone through so much hardship because of Trump, and I'm going through that right now, and I'm still fighting to do what I do best again. And Trump isn't going to silence me. Hollywood, as we know it, is under suppression. So Hollywood is under suppression because of Trump, according to her. When in reality, it's the people speaking their mind about everything what's wrong in Hollywood are the actors acting like they are political commentators, but even more than that, they're trying to literally force their politics onto their fan base, onto their core loyal, supporters that have actually supported their work over many years. In Jane Fonda's case, I don't know what fans she really has left anymore, but we know that there's a lot of things going on right now with, of course, Hollywood. There are a lot of studios that are beginning to wake up that, maybe it's not a good business model to hire actors and actresses, producers, writers, and directors that get so political to the point that you lose business and potentially permanent business loss when people just want to never return back. There are people out there that will never see a Disney movie again, for example, just because of what they did over the course of the past 10 years. And that's pretty much cemented in at this point. There's no turning back for gaining back those lost fans. It's all about gaining new fans right now for Disney and some other studios out there that they lost. But one thing is really interesting about all of this is that Jane Fonda keeps going on and on about how freedom of speech is dead. Meanwhile, at the same exact time, she's literally saying what she has to say, and she's literally just putting it out there. And that is exactly what makes me roll my eyes, because we're hearing this from a lot of celebrities out there, a lot of actors and actresses saying the same exact thing. They parrot each other after all. But I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.